this is Holly. Welcome to Suspense She Shed Sunday. That is a tongue twister. This is where I'll be doing true crime right from my she shed every Sunday. I'm trying to give a little bit of coverage to different crime stories that we usually don't hear as much. So if you guys want a little bit of a change on your stories, and if you can stand my southern accent and my crazy self, then you should hit that like and subscribe so you will know when every time that I'm on. I'm just an Oklahoma gal that just has always found true crime intriguing. So guys, if you want to join me, I'd love to have you right here in my she shed every Sunday. This is the story of 14-month-old Amora Carson, who had her life shortened during exorcism. Yes, you heard me right. The baby had an exorcism performed on her by her mom and stepdad, who thought she was demon possessed. Look at this sweet face and those big, beautiful blue eyes. She's just gorgeous. How could anybody hurt her? This is one of the most horrible stories I have ever heard. I'm going to put a warning here. I will be discussing the torture and death of this little baby. So go check out some beautiful paintings and gardens on Pinterest or something happy if this is too disturbing content. I do not want to mess with anybody's mind. So I'm assuming if you're still here, you want to hear this story. This story begins on November 12, 2007, when beautiful baby Amora was born to Jessica Carson and Arlen Mutina. Arlen states that he only saw Amora twice because he was serving in the military overseas. The third time that he would see Amora, unfortunately, would be in her coffin. Jessica Carson began dating after the birth of her daughter and after her boyfriend was overseas. And that is when she met Blaine Mylan. Amora was 3 months old when they met on January 2008. Jessica was a senior and they were both 18 years old. They got engaged on Jessica's prom night. Blaine's mom, Shirley, said that Blaine was removed from school after 4th grade and was homeschooled. After that, he stopped maturing at the age of 12 years old. He also got on meth at some point during there. I'm not sure exactly when. When he was 17, he broke into a home and left obscene notes in the bedroom of a 13-year-old girl, 13 years old, whom he had never had physical contact with. He went through her underwear drawer and then took adult magazine pictures that he cut out, and then he wrote obscene notes on the pictures, telling her he would like to perform each of these acts on her. Disgusting. He was then charged with criminal solicitation of a minor. And so he was sentenced to 180 days in jail. And of course, he was released early. Don't you always love to hear that? How come a lot of these criminals who were released early go on to perform the most horrendous acts? I don't know. They did move in together after they got engaged. Jessica was said to have been a good mother, although she did have some postpartum depression after the birth of Amora. And on Blaine, he said he didn't care that she already had a little girl when they got together. He was said to love Mora as well. Her first word was actually daddy. That is so sad. And by the way, Amora means love. Blaine's dad died just right after they moved in together. And Jessica's dad had passed away when she was 10. So right after this, they bought a Ouija board. Jessica said her dad started responding to her on the Ouija board. So she said it was like a telephone to heaven. So they both started talking to their dads, And the first night, they allegedly talked to their dads 8 hours that first night. After that, they said weird things started happening in their apartment. And so they thought it was possessed. And they got really scared and sold the Ouija board and moved in with Blaine's mom. Wham, big crybabies. They can't handle nothing apparently. And so they moved in with her. So after they moved into the trailer, Jessica then thought Blaine had been possessed by demons. And she said that led to the possession of Mora. I guess they can jump or something. I don't know. Jessica's mom, Heather Carson, said her daughter had been acting differently and that she started receiving harassing phone calls accusing her of killing Jessica's dad. And both Blaine and Jessica was accusing her of that. He had actually committed suicide. So the horrible fatal day occurred on December 2nd, 2008. They both decided baby Amora needed exorcism to drive demons out of her. So at 9 that morning, they went to a pawn shop to pawn a chainsaw so they could pay a priest for an exorcism. Or so they said, because in actuality, baby Amora was already dead at this point. When they were at this pawn shop, Amora was not seen with them on the security cameras. And then when they got home, they called 911 at 10:37 a.m. I really think they are both douchey liars. They had already killed their baby girl and was selling that chainsaw for either for more meth or to run. I mean, because she was already dead at this point when they got back home and called 911. I mean, her body was in rigor by the time the cops got there. They were sent in for the interview. They kept both telling false stories, and their stories did not line up. But what really happened is a complete nightmare. The baby endured 30 hours of torture by Blaine while Jessica listened from the next room. He had brought Amora into the back bedroom and wedged the door shut so no one could get in. After he came out of the room after a little while, he claimed Amora had looked like Chucky. And because she was biting him and drawing blood and acting crazy. He not like he was the one that was acting crazy. He had taken a picture of Amora and he showed it to Jessica. He stated that one of the child's eyes was like stretched out, I guess, and like warped down. He then went back into the bedroom and where he continued to torture. He beat little Amora with a hammer. And Jessica could hear this from the next room. But yet she did nothing about any of this. So she's just as fault as he is. He bit her 24 times and threw her against objects in the room. He assaulted her with an object that I can't discuss on YouTube that they later found underneath the house. He had hidden it under there. And she was ultimately strangled. But because of all the injuries she sustained, it was not possible to determine the final injury of this poor baby. Oh, what is wrong with people? Jessica got life in prison, and Blaine is going to be put to death. In fact, he might already be in. I know the first time they went, was going to put him to death, they didn't do it. This was in Texas, so I have my doubts if they stopped it. And so, basically, that is the horrible life of little Amora. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to depress you guys today. But I want to say this. If you suspect a little child is getting abused, You should tell. I don't care if you just think it. It's your duty to tell. Because little children cannot defend themselves. We need to make sure, as a civilization, our children are taken care of. And it's our duties to do that if we think something is going on with the child. And I'm going to leave you with some safety tips, like I always do. And I'm sorry, I hope I didn't make you too sad on this Sunday. It's not what I meant to do. Yes, I'll wish you a good week, because tomorrow's Monday. You get to start that stuff again. And I hope I will see you next Sunday. Like I said, like and subscribe. And we'll be back for some more crime next Sunday. Bye.